A slingshot launches a stone vertically from the top of a wall. Its height after t seconds is given by this formula. Okay, this is the height function or the position function. Now in part A, we need to find the velocity of after 2 seconds. So velocity is just the rate of change of position. So we first find the velocity. V is in fact at any time t is, just find the derivative, s prime. Derivative of 100 is 0, 112, so 112 minus 2 times 16, 32t. This is the velocity at any time t, but we want to find the velocity after 2 seconds. So v2 is just plug in t equals 2. So 112 minus 32 times 2. Now 64. 112 minus 64 is 48. And that's velocity, so feet per second. In part B, we need to find the maximum height of the stone. So this is the ground, and from the top of a house, okay, top of a wall, somewhere from here, the stone was launched and it goes up and comes down. So we need to assume when it comes down, it misses this wall. So let's show the path. It's going up and it hits the ground after some time. Okay, and this is the maximum height. At the maximum, what happens is when something is thrown above the ground, then the velocity decreases, and at some point momentarily the velocity is 0, then it goes down. Okay, so at the maximum height the velocity is 0. So max height implies the velocity 0, vt, velocity at any time t, which is 112 minus 32t. Okay, this is the velocity. We said that equals 0. That means 112 minus 32t equals 0. Let's solve for t. Subtract 112 from both sides and divide by minus 32. So that implies t equals, subtract 112, divide by negative 32. And use your calculator, just do it. This is 3.5. That means it takes 3.5 seconds to get to the maximum height. And the maximum height itself is, this is the height function. The given position, that's the height function. Plug in t equals 3.5. So the max height is s at 3.5. So plug in 3.5. 100 plus 112 times 3.5 minus 16 times 3.5 squared. Use your calculator. It's gonna be 296 feet. Now the third part is find the velocity of the stone after it has risen 260 feet. Okay, so when the ball goes to 260 feet somewhere, because we know 296 is the highest, so this is the 260 feet level, let's say this. And what is the velocity when it rises that high, 260 feet? So this is the height. So we said the height equals 260. From there we find the time required by the stone to get there. Once we have the time, then we can find the velocity. Just plug in here. This is the velocity function. Okay, so let's come back here. So this is the height, 260. So we said the height, which is, let's say st, that's given in the question. Height is 260. That is, go back and read the question, it's given there. So that's height is 100 plus 112t minus 16t square equals 260. Now we need to solve for t. So this is negative 16 square in the left. So let's move this to the right. That means add 16t squared, subtract 112t, and subtract 100 from both sides. Then we get, let me write in the standard form. That means highest degree term first. So leading term 16t squared minus 112t, 260 minus 100. When we combine, that's plus 160 equals 0 in the left, so I'm writing here. Okay, now we need to solve this for t. T square means we are gonna get two t values. Okay, it's very big. If let's look at here, 16 divides 112. Just try in your calculator. It goes 7 times, and 16 goes 160 10 times. So we can factor 16 out from all three terms. So this is t square minus, use your calculator, the 7t plus, it goes 10 times. Now when we have 16 a number, just the number, not the variable, then we can divide both sides by 16. Divide both sides by 16, this 16 is gone, and we have 16 over 0 is just still 0. Now let's factor t square minus 7t plus 10. This is a trinomial, so when it factors as a product of two binomials. So t squared, that's t, 10, 2 times 5, 10, to get negative, both negatives, and negative 2 and negative 5 make negative 7. So from this we get t equals 2 and t equals 5. That means it takes 2 seconds to get to that height, 260 feet height. So if we go up, so it takes 2 seconds to get there, and all the way to up, come back here, and that would be another time when it hits 260, but we want that when it rises 260. So we take t equals 2. This is the time taken by the stone to get to the same level, but it's on the way up, on the way down. So, sorry, this is on the way up, or when the ball has risen 260 feet. So we need to find the velocity. So v, velocity at 2, and v2, you just find v2. It was found in part A as well, but v2 is v is, look at part A, it's there by the way, 112 minus 32t. We found that in part A. Just plug in 112 minus 32t, which is 2, and it's same thing as part A by the way, 48 feet per second. Final.